because they weren't going to be deterred by the fact that the funding for this project might have been questionable. Because if they had slipped a bit on quality in that period of time, we would have lost the project. There'd been a reason not to give it to us. So the folks in the laboratory deserve an enormous amount of credit for being able to sustain a passion for excellence in the face of what was pretty dismal news. I think it's a lesson from Michigan State. It's, I think, how we've been able to move through these most difficult economic times for the state. We're operating on 1980 inflation-adjusted dollars per student. Higher education has lost $1 billion of revenue in this period of time. It's caused some cost shift to tuition, but if you look at the overall growth as determined by the folks downtown on the other end of the avenue, it really has not been that university budgets have grown that much. It's simply that there's been the balance of tuition and state recreation cuts. So it's a message about the carrying momentum in very, very difficult times. The second message about FRIB is it will celebrate 50 years of the first light of the original cyclotron this year. And the introduction talked about being an international university. Those roots, those seeds were planted a long time ago. And you have to be, as an institution, as a community, really diligent about making sure that the things that you celebrate one time can be the theme you celebrate in the future, but not exactly the same thing. Because what we're going to build in FRIB isn't exactly what we had before. It's in an area of nuclear physics. We want to be a world leader. We want to be path-breaking. We're going to do a lot of things with that laboratory. And when you go see it sometime, there are lots of things that have yet to be designed. So we've got a lot of space to go between right now and when it actually works. Because we're going to rely on creativity and ingenuity and just plain tenacity to work through some yet unsolved problems of design and physics. But that's the neat thing about a university. Because that's what we need to do all the time, no matter what field it's in. That we have to have that tenacity, that capacity to take what is part of us, part of our history and our roots, and be able to move it and translate it to the 21st century and take on all those unknown problems. So you can't be complacent, whether you're a community or a university. The third sort of lesson about FRIB is that you need to develop coalitions in order to do really important things. FRIB is a coalition that's been really unable to be replicated across the country about something that most folks don't understand, if you think about it. So if I did a quiz here, okay, about your isotope knowledge, and all the things that go with it, my guess is that we would not have a really high collective score. But you all believe in it. You all believe in it. You believe that because it's been reviewed externally by the best scientists in the world. You've seen the economic numbers. All of you would love to have a company that had 200 new high-tech jobs in your community, which is what we've brought so far to FRIB. If you think about it, 200 high-tech jobs. And that's part of the economic rotation. It'll keep growing with the construction. It'll keep growing with the visitors. It just keeps coming and coming. But right now, there are a couple hundred people there because of FRIB, the work we've done together, that would reflect one of the most sought-after high-tech companies, in addition to all the spin-offs that happen beyond Nioway. Because the applications for FRIB are going to be slightly different. And we've been able to use FRIB to recruit other people, including one of the best theorists in the world. And we've been able to recruit people from around the world to be part of that 200, to make this the global community that we're all talking about. And it takes that kind of tenacity of a coalition of people from the East and the West, from people who don't understand physics but believe in it, from people who were labor and management, farmers, you pick it, they were part of doing something like FRIB. So the other lesson about all of this is if we want to do something really big together in the community, now that FRIB is a little bit on a more stable footing, we got to have those kinds of coalitions. And we got to have the capacity to believe. To believe. Because FRIB at the beginning was a belief. It is not a tried and true concept, it is a belief. And great things happen whether at the university or in communities because you have that capacity to believe. And then work sort of diligently and with great tenacity on all the details that could unravel you, but keeping the coalition together, all the voices. And we're able to do that with FRIB. So now that's our model for the next great thing we want to try to accomplish. I would also say to you, if you look at FRIB or the announcement or the Rose Bowl, what we have to think about then for the university is how to create more of those Rose Bowl FRIB-like experiences, while every day we just simply get better. Our pro forma's good. The demand for enrollment is higher now than it has been, and we really don't have the Rose Bowl effect built into that. And that will be a national effect more than a local effect. And those applications are important because we're in a declining demographic for higher education. With K-12 enrollment remarkably dropping in the state. So standards are up, demand is up, those kinds of things are all good for us. They may not be good for higher education in general for Michigan, but they're good for us. But then there's the negative about this, which is the effect of the sequester. The budget deal that preserved FRIB didn't solve the funding for research. In fact, what it did was it just cut off a little bit of the deepest part of the sequester. So if you're interested in biomedical research, actually NIH has fewer dollars this year under this wonderful budget deal than it had in 2012. And more competition. So for us to be really successful as a university, we've got about $500 million in research, 475, 500 million. We have to grow that significantly. Everybody has to participate in that. We have to grow our company connections, and that's one of the things we're going to work really hard. And we have to grow our partnerships internationally in areas that we're really good at. We need to own food safety, food security, and areas that we're not necessarily known for, but have to be much stronger at in order to be successful. Coupled with that, we have to start raising private dollars because we're in that league. It's one of the things that I disagree about John Hanna. I like his international dimension, his undergraduate programs. We've really sort of taken that and redone the neighborhoods, lots of things, but he didn't believe in raising money. He thought we'd lose our public heart. And actually right now it's reversed. We're in danger of losing our public heart if we can't raise money. In order to provide the support for students, because 75% of our students come from middle-class backgrounds, $125,000 or less. We have more Pell eligible students than the Ivy League combined. So we're the place of opportunity with world-class standards. Because anyone who leaves Michigan State should be able to compete to be successful anywhere in the world. We just want them to be here. They have to be successful anywhere in the world, just like the cyclotron or the effort, anywhere in the world. So that's part of what we've got to worry about moving forward, both for scholarships as well as for positions. Because in the world of talent and talent acquisition, it's about scholarships for students and about endowed positions for faculty and staff. So you're going to talk, Mary Sue's going to come and talk to you, I think next, when she's here, February. She's extraordinary. That's an extraordinary institution. And we'll beat them in basketball when we're healthy. But it's an extraordinary institution. She's done an extraordinary job. The University Research Corridor is an amazing partnership for the state and something we all should be proud of. But they're gonna be looking at a $4 billion campaign plus in order to keep talent, And so we just got a little bit of a late start, but we're gonna be able to be successful because all of us are gonna rally around that Rose Bowl experience and be able to help people be what they need to be, which are Spartans. So I've got a list of things I can still talk about. I think I've done my 15 minutes, which is what I told you I would do, to leave about 20 minutes or more for questions from any of you about any topic. We need to make this a dialogue. I can